I've been running my business profitably for over 5 years. I started out as a social media manager, then I switched to freelance writing. I've sold books, I've sold courses, I've done coaching, and I've been fairly successful at my business. But I'm also going to be the one that tells you that it's always important to take the message of quitting your job to start a business very carefully, okay? Because we'll find out in this video. Hey the bosses, my name is G Nontra, and on this channel I am the nerd that creates videos around writing and making money with your writing. So if that sounds like something that you would like to jive with, consider hitting that subscribe button. So I wanted to start this segment here on the channel where I have honest talks with G and I pull back the curtain and share the reality of entrepreneurship and share some of the things I've been through as I've been on this entrepreneurial journey. Right now, I am at the half of a decade mark of running my business. I've run it as a side hustle. I've run it as a full-time entrepreneur. Currently, I'm running it as a side hustle. And there is a lot of, if you just search here on YouTube, you will find videos on quitting your job and starting a business. And they're highly motivating, highly inspirational. And people talk about how they were in a job they hated and it was sucking their soul. And then they quit to start a business and now they're so much more happier. And I'm not going to take those stories away from those people because they very well could be true. And in a lot of cases, they are true. Thankfully, I have been around entrepreneurs like that in real life and they love what they are currently doing. So it's amazing that these stories exist. But here is the caveat I want to talk about. And the caveat there is that a lot of the time, what people don't share with you about the whole quitting my job to start a business deal is that sometimes they don't tell you that they had a support system. They don't tell you that when they quit their job, they went to live with their parents, and inside of their parents' house where they were not paying rent, right? They were able to save money and run their business on a mean and lean machine, okay? On a lean machine, not a mean and lean machine. For most people around the world, rent is the biggest item on our bills, on our budgets, right? And so if you're able to take rent out and live with your parents or live with somebody who is taking care of the rent, of course, you're going to have a bit of a runway so that you're not having to spend the little money that you have from your business on rent and feel in a tight position. Another thing that sometimes people don't mention is that apart from maybe going to live in a parent's house or going to live in a grandparent's house so that they can run their business more efficiently and not have so many overhead costs. Sometimes people quit their jobs and perhaps they have a spouse who has a really good job, all right? And this spouse is paying for things, or whoever it is, maybe it's somebody that they know is paying for things in the house. And so the burden is not on them to generate money to support the family. Now, when you're in a scenario where somebody is supporting you financially or with rent or in any other way that takes financial responsibility off you, at least in the interim, it can be easy to then put the money towards investing in yourself. It can be easier then to decide to experiment. It can be easier to put the money towards coaching. Now, again, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, I'm not trying to steal anybody's story from them, but the reality is that when you have these hidden advantages that are not always shared with people, and then people share the story, oh, I quit my job and then now I'm doing something that I love. Unfortunately, when somebody is in a job that they absolutely hate, and I've been there, I understand. But when they're in a position where they don't enjoy that and then they hear such a story, then it's like, oh, I can quit my job also and then become like this person in about 6 months to a year. And then people become sorely disappointed. And then it's like, oh, the whole make money online thing is a scam. But I'm here to tell you it's not a scam. I've been making money online since 2015, very consistently, very actively. And I'm here to tell you that it is real. But it's important that when you listen to the stories of people, whether that's on a podcast, on a YouTube channel, whatever, that you really take into consideration that there could be other inbuilt advantages that they're not talking about. And again, I don't take that away from them. It's just the way life is. Now, if you look at your life and you see that you don't have some of those advantages, you don't have anybody to go and like live in a house with and for them to take care of your rent so that you can build your business, or you don't have that other support system that allows you to have your finances, or so that you're not under so much financial stress, or perhaps you have kids and the person that you just listened to the podcast you listen to on the podcast doesn't have any children, and so they didn't have that responsibility. Or perhaps you are taking care of your mom and that person does not have that responsibility. It's really important to take into account all the variables that come with starting a business and having it be successful, so that when you decide to start your business, you don't put so much pressure on yourself to the point where you're desperate to do anything. I don't think that that's fair to you. I don't think it's fair to the people that depend on you, especially if you have people that depend on you. And so this is absolutely important to consider. Okay, G, so I really do hate my job and I really want to quit and start a business. That's fine. My advice to you is to do something that I did, which is start a side business. I have a few videos on this channel about starting a side business and the types of businesses that you can start. You can check them out in the cards over here. I'd encourage you to watch those videos and pick up an idea. Now, when you pick up an idea, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out and learn everything that you can about that idea. So for instance, if on this channel, I talk a lot about freelance writing. I've talked some about self-publishing and blogging. That's because I've been doing that for a really long time. Now, if you decided that, okay, you wanted to take up freelance writing, for instance, then what I would say is, you can go through all the videos I have on this channel. I actually have a whole playlist of videos on freelance writing. You can go through that whole playlist. Then find other resources. I have a book, all right, Win at Freelance Writing. I'll leave the link in the description. You can go buy that. It's only $3.99 on Amazon, $3.99, and read it. And then once you have gone through the content, once you have read the book, you can also, find other pieces of material out there that are either freely available or cheaply available, and spend the next 30 to 60 days learning everything you can about that. And then after that, I want you to implement. As you read and as you learn, take notes, implement that information. If you diligently learn and take notes and implement, I know it doesn't sound as flashy as what you will see, people with Lamborghinis and in garages are showing you. But if you will do that consistently, yes, I can assure you that in about 6 months from today, okay, you also will be making real money from a business that you started, because you took the time to learn a skill and implement that skill and implement the sales techniques that allow you to generate income from that skill. So that's what I'll encourage you to do, is to start as a side hustle first. Now, once you've started as a side business first and you've grown the business to a place where it is matching your income, and most of the time people say make sure that whatever you're making from your business matches your income for at least 3 to 6 months. Some people say to make it about half. I'm in that camp of like, if you're able to make at least half of your current income with a particular business model, then the logic there is that if you quit your job, then you could spend that time that you spend at work to build out the rest of the business so that you reach that full-time income. However, if you are risk averse, which is totally okay, because again, responsibilities, then I would say that see that you are able to get to full-time income, right? Be able to replicate the income you're making in your job for about 3 to 6 months. And if you're able to do that consistently, then you've proven the concept, and then you can safely say, you know what, I'm going to step away from this job, and my family and the people that depend on me, and even if you don't have a family and people that depend on you, the responsibilities that you have will not suffer because you have now quit your job. So to watch other videos on this channel around starting a side hustle, check out this playlist right here.